For more than 35 years, the Black Mental Health Alliance has promoted culturally grounded approaches to behavioral health awareness, access, quality, and integration for the Black community. Tonight, we are excited to celebrate the brilliance and resilience of those who labor in this work. Join us as we honor the following pioneers in mental health: Dr. Naeem Akbar, Dr. Alifi M. Breland Noble, Annette March Greer, Fanon Hill, and Navasha Dea. Welcome to the third annual Dr. Maxie T. Collier VIP Reception and Awards Ceremony. Honoring and celebrating our legacy, our healing, our moment.
Hey family, it's your nephew, Willie Moore Jr. Listen, I am so excited to be here today. Thanks for tuning in to the 2021 Dr. Maxie T. Collier Awards, presented by the Black Mental Health Alliance. I'm Willie Moore Jr., and I am so pleased to be your host tonight and welcome you to this year's event. Tonight, now we're honoring and celebrating our legacy, our healing, our moment. You'll witness some of the brilliance and resilience of those who are showing up and doing the critical work in the mental health space. Now, in pure Willie Moore Jr. fashion, you know your nephew got to hit you with a flat out, right? Tonight's honorees include Dr. Naeem Akbar, Annette March Greer, Dr. Alfie Breland Noble, Fanon Hill, and Navasha Dea for their outstanding work spanning the mental health landscape. Listen, these are some powerhouse honorees. And if we don't honor them, who will, right? As you're watching tonight's show, we want to see you share this experience, your reaction. Make sure if you're watching, wherever you're watching, that you make sure that you share this with as many people as possible. Do me a favor also, use the hashtag Black Minds Matter, okay? You got me? Black Minds Matter. And I want to see you post that on your social media. Also, tell your folk that we are live and ready to take it to the next level for Black people and mental health. You know, the Black Mental Health Alliance is boldly on the front line as a leader in supporting the health and well-being of Black people in their communities. They continue to serve clinics, communities, individuals, families, and children, helping all to strive for, embrace, and maintain the best life. Thanks to the vision and the work of our principal founder, Dr. Maxie T. Collier. The Black Mental Health Alliance exists today. So Dr. Collier, I just want to say personally, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your humanity. We speak your name and honor you as your work continues towards the future. So listen, we're going to get started with the first award. To present the Phoenix Rising Award for Excellence in Psychology, please welcome Dr. Jonathan Shepard, President of the Black Mental Health Alliance Board of Directors.
Known for his Afrocentric approach to psychology, Dr. Naeem Akbar is a clinical psychologist who critiqued the Eurocentric psychological practices that regularly work to intellectually oppress African Americans. As a respected public speaker, author, and scholar, Dr. Akbar's groundbreaking research and writings help to identify 4 categories of mental illness among African Americans, further challenging Eurocentric normative. Dr. Akbar is on a quest to obtain collective freedom of the mind for African Americans, uplifting the ideals that African Americans have a long and powerful history that they should be proud of, and amen to that. Dr. Akbar has gone beyond the call of duty, empowering patients to define their own personal goals and supplying the necessary resources for them to achieve those goals. Tonight, the Black Mental Health Alliance is proud to present the 2021 Phoenix Arising Award for Excellence in Psychology to Dr. Naeem Akbar. Let's celebrate him.
Thanks to all of you for attending this evening's award ceremony in honor of Dr. Maxie T. Collier. I would like to give special thanks to our sponsors, board members, and staff for your support and generous contributions to this very important and signature event for the Black Mental Health Alliance. Dr. Collier would be proud of this event in his honor. Let me also congratulate all of the other honorees for their work and service that BMHA selected this year in the spirit of Dr. Maxie Collier's legacy. No, I am not the esteemed, brilliant, genius-level psychologist, scholar, public speaker, and author, Dr. Naeem Akbar. My name is Richard Rowe, and I am on the staff of the Alliance. Unfortunately, Dr. Akbar could not be with us this evening. It is truly an honor to accept this award on his behalf. I know Dr. Akbar. I have been in his presence. I have heard him speak, and I've read a number of his books, which have all been enlightening and life-affirming. Dr. Akbar expressed his profound gratitude to Andrea, the board, and the Alliance for giving him this prestigious award. He has been a speaker at past BMHA events, and he knew Dr. Maxie Collier. Dr. Akbar, like Dr. Collier, is a visionary. Dr. Akbar, like Dr. Collier, understood the true psychological freedom would come to Black people from an understanding and appreciation of their rich cultural rituals, practices, and traditions. They both spoke often about the reconstruction or the deconstruction of Eurocentric psychological thought and the reconstruction of Black African psychology. So Dr. Akbar shared with me over 20 years ago that a Black African definition or normalcy was necessary, and until a definition is formed, Black people would remain subjects to the power and authority of the dominant community. I could go on and on about the teachings and brilliance of Dr. Akbar, but time will not permit. So in addition to this award that the Alliance is presenting to him, let us all honor and celebrate Dr. Akbar by lifting up his thoughts and ideas, praising his service to our people, and never forget that his work is deserving of our unyielding praise. Thank you, Dr. Naeem Akbar. Love, praise, and profound gratitude to you. Asante Sana.
Family, it's your nephew, Willie Moore Jr. Wow, what an award show. Do me a favor, continue to put out the hashtag Black Minds Matter. You got me? You rolling with your nephew, right? Black Minds Matter. I want to see that all over social media. Listen, the best way to get good information out is to share it. You know, it's so easy for us to share all type of information that could negatively affect our mental health. So it's important to let people know exactly what we're doing here tonight. You know, this celebration of our legacy healing moment continues. Y'all are looking good out there. I've seen a few people posting pictures on social media. I see you, Mama. I see you, TT. You looking pretty good too. You see, I got this little bitty suit on that I got from Baby Gal. Y'all pray for me. Family, the Black Mental Health Alliance is working to create an equal, respectful, and compassionate society where the Black community is actually functioning with optimal mental health. Here's some ways you can help support overall mental health wellness. First thing I want you to understand is that it's important that you roll with lifestyle changes, okay? As you can see, your nephew, I'm into nutrition. Nutrition is another way that you can support your overall mental health. Another thing that you can do is exercise 2 or 3 times a day. Remember, a small step is still a step, right? A lot of times we're so anxious to move into something big that we miss the opportunity to master small. Another thing that we can do is we can have brain games. You know, my mama, she's 81 years young. She adopted me when I was 3 months old. And literally, she still does crossword puzzles. And I used to say, Mama, why you always playing them crossword puzzles? She said, baby, because I ain't got no iPhone. But it's a way to keep my mind sharp. It's important that you do that. Another thing that we got to make sure that we do is we got to stop smoking. Fellas, I know you love a good cigar bar. I like it myself. But I'm going to be honest with you. If we want to get some really good mental health and wellness, we got to stop smoking. Another thing I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, think about your weight management, right? I don't want you to overthink it, but I tell you what, when you look in that mirror and you see the person that you want to see, you feel better about yourself. Another thing I want you to do is maintain healthy blood pressure and cholesterol. Take your medication as well. I know a lot of my audience, you are blood-bought believers and you just believe in God, and I love that. But it's so important to understand that God also gave doctors the wisdom and knowledge of what you need. What that means? Latin. Take your medicine here, all right? Socialization. No man is an island. And in fact, my favorite book says that it's not good for man to be alone. So it's so important. I know we just came out of a pandemic, for your mental health, that you connect with people and socialize with them. Participate in healing circles, right? Again, that whole 2x2 theory that was left in my favorite book, there should be some circles that you get around that actually heal you. Don't isolate, socialize, and get into those healing circles. Last but not least, baby, find a therapist. Okay, let me just be real with you. Find you a therapist. I had to 2 years ago to get more tools. Finding a therapist doesn't make your faith weak. Finding a therapist actually makes your faith strong, because you understand that there's some wisdom that has gone in the earth that God is literally giving people in the area of therapy to give to you. I found my entire biological family last year. Guess who needed some therapy to make sure that I was able to not outrun the pace of grace, right? So make sure that you find a therapist. Last but not least, I want you to visit www.blackmentalhealth.com for more information. Everything that I told you, you can find it right there on that website, all right?
Hello, everyone. I'm Andre Hepkins, an anchor here at WBAL TV 11 News. The Black Mental Health Alliance has worked tirelessly to support the health and well-being of our community. WBAL TV is a proud media partner of the BMHA and supports its mission, vision, and life-saving work. We are honored to be here with you as you celebrate the 2021 Phoenix Rising Award winners. Annette March Greer, Roberta's House. Dr. Alfie Breland Noble, psychologist and author. Dr. Naeem Akbar, psychologist and author. And Fannin Hill and Avashadea for their work with the Youth Resiliency Institute. Congratulations to all of you.
What's up, everybody? Said the Entertainer here. As you know, mental health has become more and more prevalent in the Black and African American community. So we want to bring greater awareness to this for the services needed to treat some of these things. All right? Get involved, guys. Reach out and contact the Black Mental Health Alliance today. Be sure that you let them know that you want these kind of services in our communities to help those that people are stressing and people are dealing with a lot of real serious issues that can be thwarted off with real, sincere, professional help. So reach out to the Black Mental Health Alliance. Do it today. Your silence will not protect you. All right.
Wow. You know, Simone Biles is an American artistic gymnastic artist who earned combined a total of 32 Olympic and World Championship medals. She also has 2 records of being the most decorated gymnast in American world history, right? Making her the greatest of all time. Come on, say it with your nephew. She the GOAT. Okay, Sheen Babao, yay tall, okay? Earlier this year, we watched Simone withdraw from some Olympic competition to protect her mental health. That's never been done before. It's the self-care and protection for me, boo, flat out. You know, Simone is quoted saying, I was built this way for a reason, so I'm gonna use it. Simone, listen, I wanna tell you this, honey, if you're watching. We salute you, we stand with you. We know that wasn't an easy move to make a decision for your own mental health while the world was watching, but you inspired so many people, including myself. Keep inspiring the world everywhere to prioritize your mental health, because that's what you did for us, Simone. Also, on the front line of mental health prioritization is another powerful Black woman who serves as the executive director of the Black Mental Health Alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome Andrea Brown, another GOAT. Come on, somebody.
Good evening, and welcome to the third annual Dr. Maxie T. Collier Award Ceremony, presented by the Black Mental Health Alliance for Education and Consultation, better known as BMHA. I am Andrea Brown, and I serve as the Executive Director. Thank you to the BMHA Board of Directors, our members, supporters, honorees, sponsors, partners, stakeholders, staff, and you, our special guests. That would be you. I'm looking forward to this evening with you. Oh, what a night. Thank you so much for joining us for what I believe and almost could guarantee will be an incredible evening as we laugh, cry, reflect, reconcile, pour libations, thank our ancestors, and honor the men and women who labor in this work. This is the signature fundraiser for the Black Mental Health Alliance, and I'm happy that you are with us tonight. Legend has it that the Black Mental Health Alliance was started in a conference room with three practitioners who started a heated debate about the mental health and wellness of Black boys, Black men, Black women, and Black girls. And thus, the Black Mental Health Alliance was born. While we see and you see much has changed, we know that much has not, and there's much to be done. The time really is now. The moment is now. The movement and the moment are upon us. The Black mental health continues to bring culturally responsive programming. We've launched our training institute, and we are training clinicians in the music industry and across the country. We've not turned our back on young men and boys, and we make sure that they find their voice. We're training the trainer, and even more, our youth and college division is introducing the Swahili word for hello, sawubona, and it means I see you. I'm in the moment with you, and I acknowledge you. We are at the front lines, and we know that you are with us, and we refuse to be silent. And as Audre Lorde's writing reminds us, our silence won't protect us. Lastly, before I take my seat, Dr. Alfie, Dr. Akbar, Annette, Fanan, and Navasha, thank you for reminding us to walk in our calling, speak and live our convictions and our truth. For it is our duty to carry the mantle, to prepare a community of people with melanin so deep and so rich. We thank you for amplifying your voice for wellness, wholeness, and healing. Your innovation, your commitment, time, and talent has been a great source of pride for us. And because you have answered the call, generations yet unborn will forever be healed. They'll forever be whole, and they will forever thank you. Every generation has its moment. This is our moment, and this is yours. Thank you for joining us this evening. This is the third annual Dr. Maxie T. Collier Award Ceremony, presented by the Black Mental Health Alliance.
Wow, what a night. My prayer is this, is that you having fun, that you're meeting a lot of new people, and you realize the importance of mental health. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. Back in the day, when it came to mental health, we figured we could just go to the altar and all of our issues, problems, and hurdles that we had to get over would just evaporate. The truth is, I know that God can do some things, But there's one thing that I know he can do, is that he can equip people to help us through our walk. And I'm so thankful tonight that we're celebrating those people who are helping so many others, right? The next award recognizes a community partner who inspires change in the lives of children, adults, and families living with mental illness and substance use disorders with innovative approaches that are influencing the future of care. To present the Phoenix Horizon Award for People's Choice for impact on the mental health and community, please welcome Dr. Lakeitha Carter.
As president and co-founder of Roberta's House, Annette March Greer provides grief education, peer support, and grief camps to children, adults, and families in underserved communities. At an early age, Annette developed compassion for people and community-centered work. Having worked in the renowned March Funeral Homes, her family's business for more than 60 years, Annette understands the impact of unresolved grief and loss and is recognized as a pioneer in the bereavement care industry. As she continues to expand her advocacy for the needs of bereaved children and families, Annette conducts training and educational seminars with local churches and family service agencies. Her training became a vital resource for the entire community for referrals and grief expertise. For an inspiring change in the lives of children, adults, and families living with mental illness and substance use disorders, with innovative approaches that are influencing the future of care, the Black Mental Health Alliance is pleased to present the 2021 Phoenix Horizon Award for Impact on Mental Health and Wellness in the Community to Annette March Greer.
Good evening. I want to thank the Black Mental Health Alliance for this 2021 Phoenix Rising People's Choice for Impact on the Mental Health and Wellness in the Community. Roberta's House has been in existence for 14 years and continues to provide services around grief, trauma, and education for individuals who've experienced the death of someone close. It is an honor to be a part of the village with the Black Mental Health Alliance. I am truly humble and want to thank the Black Mental Health Alliance for this award, and we will continue to serve our community in providing mental health and wellness.
Hi, I'm Wendy Raquel Robinson, aka Tasha Mack from The Game, and I'm also the co-founder and artistic director for Amazing Grace Conservatory. Did you know that 1 in 3 African Americans struggle with mental health? Don't let fear or judgment stop you from seeking treatment. If you need it, it is there for you. There is a Black Alliance of Black leaders that are able to talk to you, to speak to you, and get your mental health in order. Hashtag Black Minds Matter. Take care.
Good evening, everyone. I am Danielle Mcrae, a member of the Baltimore City Council. I want to begin by congratulating the Black Mental Health Alliance for their 38 years of service and dedication to the overall health and wellness of our community. And congratulations to the 2021 award recipients who are being celebrated this evening. The work of BMHA is crucial, especially in the wake of these stunning statistics. Deaths by suicide have steadily increased in the Black community over the past decade and more rapidly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our children younger than 13 are 2 times more likely to die by suicide than their white counterparts. And as suicide rates decrease among white Americans, they continue to increase within our community. Many of us have been impacted by mental illness in some fashion, whether it be our own battles or the battles of those closest to us. That is why, as chair of the Health, Environment, and Technology Committee on the Baltimore City Council, I am committed to taking actionable steps to ensure our community has the tools and understanding to support their mental health and well-being. I am proud that the Baltimore City Council recently passed legislation that will establish a suicide prevention coordinator within the Baltimore City Health Department. The legislation was thoughtfully produced by our dedicated City Council Suicide Prevention Legislative Work Group members. To all who are watching, please know that you are never alone. There are resources and professionals who are ready and available to help you on your journey. BMHA is here to connect you with those critical avenues and will support you along the way. Thank you for your time.
Indeed. Family, I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to be your host tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm learning so much myself. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've been in therapy for the last 2 years, but I'm just learning so much. And I just never knew that an opportunity would ever come for people who are in the mental health field to be celebrated like they're being celebrated tonight. Shout out to Dr. Maxie T. Collier, our visionary, our leader. We do honor and appreciate you. All right. Now, the Phoenix Rising Awards for People's Choice for Inspiring Hope is presented to a community partner who models, supports, and inspires the transformative power of recovery through the use of advocacy, sponsorship, and partnership. Please welcome our next presenter, Dr. Danielle Mcrae, a member of the Black Mental Health Alliance Board of Directors.
Scientist, author, speaker, and media contributor are just a few ways to describe Dr. Alfie Breland Noble. As the founder of the Akoma Project Incorporated, an innovative nonprofit that translates complex scientific concepts into mental health practices for youth, families, and communities, Dr. Alfie believes that there is enough love and light informed by strong, culturally relevant science to help everyone achieve optimal mental health. Dr. Alfie models support and inspires the transformative power of recovery through the use of advocacy and partnership. The Black Mental Health Alliance is pleased to present the 2021 Phoenix Rising Award for the People's Choice for Inspiring Hope to Dr. Alfie Breland Noble.
Hello, my name is Dr. Alfie Breland Noble, also known as Dr. Alfie, and it is my deepest honor to accept this award from the Black Mental Health Alliance, the Phoenix Rising Award. I am so deeply grateful to everyone from the organization for the faith that they've placed in me and the work that I do with the Akoma Project, where our pillars are really around three things: raising consciousness, empowering people, and changing the system. And the work that is done by this organization also aligns with those pillars. When I started my career 25 years ago, there were people who literally said things like, "Why are you doing this? African American and Black youth mental health is no different than anybody else's." And it really chokes me up to be here in this moment to have someone say to me, "Dr. Alfie, the work that you do for our Black youth, African American youth, youth of the diaspora, Black Latinx, Black Caribbean, Black African youth is so deeply meaningful, so much so that we want to recognize the 20 years that you have in this game, the effort that you've put in, and all the work that you do through the Akoma Project." So I want to say again, thank you to everyone. It is my deepest honor to sit here fighting back tears and receive this award, and I will be forever grateful. Thank you so much.
Wow. Listen, so many great award winners, so many people being represented tonight. Still your host, nephew, Willie Moore Jr. Shout out to everybody who on social media looking good. I don't know if you got your little suit on at the house, but listen, do me a favor. Also follow your nephew too at Willie Moore Jr. Live. I got a few followers on there. I'll make sure that I post it out to as many people as possible, because if you're a part of this community and you're all about your mental health, oh, you're a part of my family, flat out. All right. Listen, I'm a multi-faceted person. I'm a son, husband, I'm a father, a radio host. I'm always on somebody's stage empowering people. I've been producing films. And, now I'm the host of Dr. Maxie T. Collier's Award. Somehow, some way, I'm going to have to find some space to allow forgiveness to kind of rest in my heart. Just full transparency. When you are a public figure, people get on those comments on social media. People say horrible things. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm from the neighborhood, Berkeley, Missouri, where the median income is $17,000. You know, I will go under your comment and let you know exactly where I am to make sure you will say it to me face to face. You might be a little too sophisticated, not me, okay? Science has proven that your nephew has to forgive, right? And has proved that forgiveness has positive effects on your mental and your physical health. You know, the truth is, unless you let go and forgive yourself, unless you forgive the situation, unless you realize that the situation is over, you can't move forward, flat out. So listen, here are 5 ways, just 5, okay? 5 ways to forgive someone. Here's number 1. You got to stand in your truth, okay? I know that everybody has so many different opinions about who you are, what you do, and how you do things, but you have to be bold enough to stand in your truth. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to stop saying it's okay if it's not okay. You know, sometimes your default setting is with your boss and your relationship, even with your children. You're like, it's okay. But if it's not okay, baby, it's not okay. Okay? It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to tell people that's not okay. Number 3, I want you to get this. Don't keep the door open to those who consistently hurt you. You know, my mom and my dad, they were 2 ex-sharecroppers, right? And of course, they didn't have a whole lot of education, but they told me this, listen here. If you fool me one time, first one was like, it's shame on you, but the second one is shame on me. You have to take full responsibility of those around you. The biggest room in the world is the room for you to improve. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And sometimes you have to improve your circle so you can go to the next level. Number 4, don't allow them to gaslight you, that it's all in your head and that you're just too sensitive. If it hurts you, it hurts you. And nobody should have the right to tell you what hurts you and how it hurts you, because you have the opportunity to feel it, right? I want you to be able to say, no, you will not gaslight me on this particular situation. And you don't have to do it in a strong voice. You don't have to be mean. You ain't got to cuss nobody out. My favorite book says this: the meek shall inherit the earth, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. Meek don't mean weak, baby. Meekness means strength under control, okay? So it's okay to say, listen, it may seem sensitive to you, but it hurts me. And I will not allow you to gaslight me. Another way when it comes to forgiveness, to make sure that you're forgiven, understand that forgiving them doesn't depend on their apology. Forgiving them means that their action no longer controls you anymore. Meaning, many of you, even as I speak to you now, you probably think to yourself, just wish my dad would have apologized to me. I just wish she would have apologized after she did what she did. If I could, just so you can get over that moment. I don't know who he or she was, but if I could just stand in the gap so you can move forward without unforgiveness, I'll stand in the gap and say, I apologize for them. And from this moment on, although it was not them, I pray that you move forward in forgiveness, because you are smart, you are intelligent. The Creator has a big goal and a dream and a vision for you. And so in this moment, if you can just receive that forgiveness, I don't even know if you 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy, baby. Listen, let me tell you something. Unforgiveness is only stopping you up. And I want to see you successful. Can I trust you to forgive? I know I can. I know I can. Wow, what a moment in time, right? Family, you know I love you, flat out.
It's time to change and redefine the narrative, because your silence will not protect you. Talking about your mental health is not weak. Staying silent is. Black Mental Health Alliance can help connect you with Black mental health experts and professionals that understands the needs of our community. It's time to speak up, because Black minds matter.
Hey, family, Willie Moore Jr. Yeah, the man with the hat and the suit that's a little tighter than normal. But listen, we're having an amazing time tonight. Make sure that you continuously use that hashtag Black Minds Matter, okay? Black minds do matter. Your minds matter, right? I'm so excited to be hanging out with you. To present the Phoenix Arising Award for Excellence in Youth Programming, please welcome Shannon Mcfadden, a member of the Black Mental Health Alliance Board of Directors.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon Mcfadden, and I am a member of the Board of Directors for the Black Mental Health Alliance in Baltimore, Maryland. Fannin Hill and Nevacia Dea are creatives and activists at heart. Beyond their co-founding the Youth Resiliency Institute, both are dedicated community activists. Nevacia is an R&B vocalist, and Fannin is a cultural arts rites of passage leader. Both with a passion for the arts and the health and wellness of Black people, they co-founded the Youth Resiliency Institute. The Institute is dedicated to inspiring realization of the authentic self in children, youth, and young adults in Baltimore, Maryland. The Institute encourages and supports authentic living in the service of just, joyful, and sustainable communities. The Youth Resiliency Institute views the transition of youth to adulthood not as a time of risk, but as a time of profound promise. The exemplary ways in which Black children and youth create meaningful identities in relation to larger political forces carry rich activist ingredients and draw from the Black community's existing strengths and restorative capacity. The Black Mental Health Alliance is pleased to present the 2021 Phoenix Arising Award for Excellence in Youth Programming to Fannin Hill and Nevacia Dea for their Youth Resiliency Institute. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nevacia Dea. I'm co-founder and director of the Healing and Performing Arts of the Youth Resiliency Institute. And I would like to thank the Black Mental Health Alliance for this prestigious award. Thank you so much for this acknowledgement of our work.
As 2021 award recipients, both Nevacia and I are extremely honored and humbled by this auspicious award. When we think about the groundbreaking work that BMHA has committed itself to, we think about culturally responsive approaches that impact our communities. We understand through our work that liberation is not just political, but it is also spiritual and cultural. We thank the family and the wife of Dr. Collier, and we work to forward his innovation in this time. We also recognize the work of BMHA staff, Dr. Brown, the indomitable Richard Rowe, who I looked up to as a child. Lastly, we understand that the work must continue. Once again, we thank BMHA for this auspicious award and look forward to continuing the work and shining a bright light on BMHA in this time and ever forward.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kylie Jefferson, most known for my role as Nevaeh Stroyer on Tiny Pretty Things and Debbie Allen's Dance Dreams, both on Netflix. I wish I could be there tonight to personally congratulate the Black Mental Health Alliance for their 38 years of service and commitment to the mental wellness in the Black community. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 4 people struggle with mental illness at some point in their lives. Your silence will not protect you. If you are struggling and need help, be the change you wish to see. Black Mental Health Alliance has served the community for 38 years. Contact them today at blackmentalhealth.com or follow them on Instagram @ or hashtag Black Minds Matter.
Well, In Black communities, reluctance to seek both physical and mental health care can often be attributed to a general distrust of the medical system. It's time to overcome the mental health stigma by shifting our cultural narrative. Your silence will not protect you. If you are struggling, I encourage you to join the conversation. It's really easy. All I want you to do is log on to www.blackmentalhealth.com. Again, that's www.blackmentalhealth.com. It's our legacy. It's our healing. It's our moment.
What's going on, everybody? This your boy, Lil Zane. You might know me from movies like Dr. Dolittle 2 with Eddie Murphy or Fighting Temptation with Beyonce and Cuba Gooding Jr. You can catch me in the new BMF series on Stars, produced by 50 Cent, starring as Saki. Right now, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about something even more important: Black mental health issues. It's time to change and redefine the narrative, because your silence will not protect you. Talking about your mental health it's not weak, but staying silent is. The Black Mental Health Alliance will connect you with Black mental health experts and professionals that understand the needs of our community. It's time to stand up. Black minds matter.
You know, speaking of mental health, last year I got rocked, right? And to my pseudo-sophisticated people out there, meaning I got rocked, meaning I got shook. I got knocked off my high horse. I tell the story as I travel the country. I was adopted when I was 3 months old, never meeting anybody in my biological family. I'm literally an adoption and foster care advocate. I travel the world and getting people excited about adoption. In fact, right now, there's 123,000 kids who are available for adoption as we speak. 23,000 of those children will age out of foster care before the end of 2022. It's tough. So it's been my job and my duty to create educational content centered around adoption and foster care to make sure other children who are like me get an opportunity to be adopted. Well, last year, not only did I get an opportunity to celebrate my forever family, Willie Moore and Flora Moore, but I also found somebody special. My biological brother, my biological mother, and all of the pieces became real to me. It just so happened that I walk around with cameras every day. And it became an amazing documentary that I think you should see. Check this out. Although years had passed, I would often think about my biological mother.
How did you think that being adopted and never having met your biological parents, that you was okay?
Like, what did she look like? What was her name? Did she ever think of me? I opened the birth certificate and I get it. And I look at the name for the child and I realized that I did not have a name. Although she had refused to meet me, I wondered those things. But in 2019, I received word from the adoption agency through an email that my biological mom was dead.
For most of us, we get a funeral as a point of closure for our loved ones. Even if he had feelings and wanted to know about himself and get more meaning to himself and put together some pieces of the puzzle of his life that he was not able to put together, that may never happen.
A popular St. Louis rapper dies in an overnight shooting. It happened in Kinloch.
She put me up for adoption. She refused to meet me. And then she died on me.
After he told me her name, I got really curious.
She called me and she was just like, I think I found the person who could possibly be your brother. I needed to meet her. And then she added a caveat. She said she's not dead. Your grandmama's dead, but your mama's not dead. Hey family, tonight's keynote speaker is one of the nation's most renowned professors, writers, preachers, lecturers, and media personalities. He's my brother from another mother. Had the esteemed privilege of interviewing him at least 2 or 3 times on the Willie Moore Jr. shows. His words cause you to think and speak on new levels, often expanding our knowledge because this guy's just brilliant. He's a walking encyclopedia and a dictionary combined. I love him to life. Having earned his PhD in religion from Princeton University, he's taught at some of the nation's most distinguished universities, including Brown, UNC Chapel Hill, Columbia, DePaul, just to name a few. Listen, I want to tell you also that he is a hip hop encyclopedia. He knows words and songs from some of the artists that I'm like, you know, the whole Sugar Hill Gang. He knows words that literally, let me just say, this guy is just brilliant. And I'm so thankful that he's here tonight. I hear that he's written more than 20 books. I think he's up to 30 throughout the pandemic, right? Topping many best-selling lists. That's just what he does. His latest book, due out in November, is called Entertaining Race, Performing Blackness in America. Reckoning is being lauded as a superb book. Senator Raphael Warnock says this about my brother, Dr. Eric Dyson. He says he is a teacher who preaches, a preacher who teaches, and an activist who cannot rest until all are set free. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. One of the most distinguished gentlemen, intelligent brothers, a brother who literally will not meander in the maze of mediocrity, and he will not let you do it either. Dr. Michael Eric Dyson.
What an honor it is to be here today and to speak to this critical issue in our community and to speak about why Black health, mental health, the health of our minds, our spirits, our souls matters, and why you have a voice and should claim that voice. I want to thank Sister Brown for the incredible work that she does to make certain that our people have their needs addressed. I want to acknowledge the honorees and for the incredible work that they're doing. I've heard of so many of them, admired so many of them, especially my dear friend, Dr. Naeem Akbar. But all of them are doing an extraordinary job to make sure that Black mental health is at the center of our agenda and the creative possibility of strengthening our resolve and our resilience is there as well. When I think about where we are, if I were to do a state of Black mental health for 2021, it is unavoidable and indeed inevitable that we talk about what they said in the 90s was a syndemic, the convergence of 2 pandemics. On the one hand, a virus that has besieged the bodies of millions of people around the world, upward of 650, almost 700,000 here in the United States of America. And we know that disproportionate numbers of people of color, especially Black people, are more vulnerable to death from the COVID-19 virus. Why? Because of pre-existing conditions and underlying conditions. Pre-existing conditions including hypertension or diabetes or asthma or heart disease. And when we think about the underlying conditions of food deserts that keep us from having access to high quality food, or we think about the fact that there's a disparity in access to health care, that even when we control for wealth, a person who's Black making $150,000 and a person who's white making the same amount of money go to the physician, the white person is typically greeted with far more aggressive treatment for a particular malady than even people of color, especially Black people, making the same amount of money. And then some might ask, well, why don't Black people take better care of themselves physically? Well, if you don't have routine access to health care, if you use the emergency ward as intervention, then you know that the disease process will be far more advanced. And this is not just physical health. We also know that disproportionate numbers of Black people are saddled with extraordinary problems, depression, PTSD, violence, and suicide. We know that the extraordinary possibility of Black people being subject to vicious forms of both destructive behavior from a dominant society that views black people through a narrow and distorted prism, and the self-destructive impulses that are so easily nurtured from within, means that we're living in difficult times. And the beauty of black mental health advocates, the beauty of black mental health practitioners, whether a psychiatrist or a nurse, or whether a person who is a psychologist or somebody who's a social worker, or whatever their particular role happens to be, to intervene in a decisive fashion and not to chalk it up as, oh, you're just feeling bad, or all you need is Jesus. No, dog, you need more than Jesus. You remember that famous scripture when the disciples went to the Lord and they were trying to cast out a demon from a human being. And they said, Lord, we could not cast this one out. We had to come to you. Why is it that we could not cast it out? And you remember Jesus said, this kind comes out by what? Only prayer, fasting, and Prozac. I'm not sure if you read that version of the Bible, but Jesus says, thou needest chemicals. So the point is that we've got to understand both talk therapy, where the intervention comes from, whether you're analytical psychologist of Carl Gustav Jung, whether you're influenced by the psychoanalytic rigors of Freud, whether you're talking about the indirect approach of Carl Rogers, whether you're speaking about the cultural competence of a Naeem Akbar, whether you're thinking about Dr. Alfie and the tremendous intervention in the mental health care collectively for the community. The point is we have to have direct and decisive political, social, and moral health and the intervention on the problems that persist in our culture, leading to the second pandemic, and that is the global pandemic, of course, on the one hand, and the particularly powerful pandemic, the decisively negative one of persistent racism in America. We know that the racial reckoning that happened in 2020, May 25th, when George Floyd died, when Derek Chauvin affixed his knee to the neck of George Floyd, despite his claim, I am incapable of breathing. I cannot breathe. Despite crying out for help, despite crying out for intervention, Derek Chauvin's response was to put his knee on the neck of George Floyd and to reinforce his suffering. Isn't this a metaphor for what America has often done, putting its knee on the neck of Black America? When we're crying out for relief from social distress, from economic insecurity, from political damage, the deleterious effects of white supremacist logics that are unleashed in America, crying for relief. I can't breathe, I can't think, I can't exist. I can't exist in an American culture that continues to refuse to see me as a human being. And so when we think about the need for Black mental health, it is so important. And this is not simply a psychochemical, psychoneurological disease pattern carved out in the brain, although that's true. It's not simply the cry for chemicals that can alter the state of mind so that the brain function is changed and the state of mind is made clearer or less tumult, full of less tumult. It is also about the social disease, the social triggers that continue to reinforce the psychic vulnerability of Black people in America. So we read Frantz Fanon and we understand about the psychodynamics of violence done against Black bodies, the humanity of Black people constantly being questioned, people not acknowledging that we are needful of the sorts of supports, the love, the embrace, the encouragement, the persistent affection that should characterize any human being in their trek and journey in this country. So thank God we celebrate these awards named after a man as a psychiatrist who understood the necessity in one of the most violent cities in America, one of the most besieged cities in America, in Baltimore, Maryland, understanding what would happen. In Baltimore may as well be Philadelphia. Philadelphia may as well be Oakland. Oakland may as well be Detroit. Detroit may as well be Chicago, and on and on. It is not simply about the geography of hurt and pain. It is about the psychological mapping of the trauma that we continue to endure. And yet the resilience we find within, the spiritual fortitude to resist the dehumanizing impulse of a society that doesn't acknowledge our fundamental humanity, will exploit us on a basketball court, will applaud us when we're on a gridiron, even on a tennis court, but ultimately beyond bouncing a ball or swatting one across a net or striking one out of the home run out of the park, or putting it through a net, or singing a song or entertaining America. Those of us who exist in spheres, which is most of us, beyond the playing field and beyond the performing stage. Those of us who are doing heroic work, yeoman's work, in the midst of a social strain against the resources that we continue to put forth against the erosion of our self-regard. I am happy to hear younger black people speaking about self-care and self-regard. But please know that these are ancient traditions that have been nurtured in the bosom of Black America, that we have constantly said that it is necessary for us to address not only the serious psychological and psychic distortions that are visited upon our minds and bodies, but also the stresses of a society that sees our children as older, and they're seeing them as older, refusing to treat them like children and treat them like adults and cut them down in the streets. Police brutality, the violence directed against poor black and brown people struggling in our schools, kicking them out earlier and earlier, the microaggressions that continue to chip away at an infrastructure of psychological well-being that we need constantly to reinforce. And so what an honor it is for us to be here today to celebrate these majestic individuals who have done tremendous work in defending us against all forces of violence and vile repudiation, repugnant rejection of who we are as a people. Up, you mighty race, yes, up against the wall we have been placed, but yet up we go, rising like a phoenix, continuing not only the name of this tremendous book and this tremendous man who talked to us about rising like a phoenix, but deep in our own spirits and souls, we recognize that in the ashes of our failures often rises the beautiful, resilient animal, the fresh flight of our determination, never to be measured by our failure, but the trajectory of our success. Falling down is one thing, staying down is another, and then grasping hold of each other, our brother and sister, our mother and father, our cousins in them, our fictive kin, as the anthropologists term them, to together form a union that will not be impregnated by self-defeating practices and behaviors that refuse to recognize who we are. Black mental health matters. The voices of those being honored matters. Your voice matters. Please raise it. Please tell the story. Please amplify the beautiful resilience we possess and the spiritual fortitude to keep on moving forward, regardless, or as the brothers and sisters in the streets say, irregardless of the obstacles and impediments that would defeat us. God bless you and keep doing a great work.
Wow, what a show. Did you enjoy yourself? Do me a favor. Continue to use the Black Minds Matter hashtag. It's so important that you use that hashtag. I believe this, good news needs to go viral. All we see on social media a lot of times is the negativity that's happening, the negative stuff that's happening. The truth is, y'all know that's bothering our mental health. Like, let's be honest. Listen, we've come to the end of the show, and I've enjoyed hanging out with you as your host. I'm looking forward to coming back next year, and hopefully we can do this live and in person so I can hug you. I'm going to bring my babies with me. I'm going to let them run around, and if they don't sit down when I tell them to, I'm going to use the Bible. They say, spare the rod, spoil the child. Latin terms, yeah. I'm going to have to pop my kids. Now, just joking. Listen, the Black Mental Health Alliance is growing, and you can help right now. I challenge you to tell someone about it and encourage them to lean in a little. Literally, to help with meaningful, engaging, and empowering work that is happening that they may not know about. You have to make sure that you spread the word. The holidays are approaching, and they're already telling us that anything that you ship might not make it to your family in time. But there's one gift that I personally know that will arrive on time and will keep on giving. It's the gift of mental health. I want to see everybody staying healthy. I also challenge you to normalize telling your friend, hey, I love you. Call that strong friend real quick. You know, it was last year when I met my entire biological family after never meeting anybody all my life. Like, I was so thankful for Jeremy Anderson. I was so thankful for Dr. Eric Thomas. I was so thankful for people who just call, because I'm literally the person who always pours out. And they would say, hey, bro, I'm just calling to tell you how much I love you and how much your voice matters to me. You do not know what that did for my mental health, to know that somebody cared and I was not alone. Make sure you call your friend, because love and words of affirmation, they really do help. Last but not least, it's been 2 years for me. And I'm going to tell y'all, I just told you, I grew up with 2 ex-sharecroppers. Anybody that went to a therapist, to them was like, well, we ain't crazy. What we need a therapist for? Doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means that you're smart enough to know that you need some help. If you are under the sound of my voice right now, find a therapist. Find a therapist. I'm going to say it again. You got to find a therapist. And let me tell you why. This was the first year of my life that I ever had suicidal thoughts. This is the first year of my life with my happy-go-lucky self that I had thoughts of ending it all. And I'm telling you this because I believe that we have now become intimate in my hosting, right? I believe that you feel safe. You heard me be vulnerable. Now you get an opportunity to literally be intimate with some of the moments. And I care about this so much. That's why I accepted this engagement, is because there are so many people suffering in silence. If it wasn't for the love of Jesus, and if it wasn't for my therapist, and if it wasn't for strong friends, and if it wasn't for my willingness to forgive, and if it wasn't for people like you who care, who knows where my life would be right now? So I challenge you to not sit on the other side of destiny, meandering in the maze of mediocrity. Take that step. Get a therapist and go out here and wear little bitty suits like me and be the coolest man on TV. Okay? Because I'm healed, because I was smart enough to get my healing, right? Find a therapist. It's a safe space. Don't be silent. Connect using the information at the bottom of the screen. I'm Willie Moore Jr. And preferably we get an opportunity to do this live and live in color next year. I look forward to being your host again. Flat out.